Right, part 3 then, the conclusion. The original question was, should I switch from iOS, or iPhone, to Android, or vice versa? Now what do I think? What's my honest opinion? Well, to be honest, if you're coming into it from never having a smartphone at all ever, first of all, where have you been for the last, I don't know, 5 years maybe now? No, not as long as that. But if you're coming into it from neutral, that's probably the best time to start. So from a neutral perspective, if you are technical, if you like to play and tinker and you're a bit of a nerd, a bit of a geek, that kind of person, you're probably better off to go Android. If you like nice things, technology and advanced things, and you like most of it to be done for you, even though you like the prettiness of it and etc., i.e. if you're quite old, like somebody's mum, like I know, or if you're really, really young, I just think the iPhone is easier. If you've never touched either of them at all, Android or iPhone, the iPhone is easier to learn. You can deal with it quicker. It's much nicer and easier to learn. Android's a bit more technical, a bit more frustrating. It's like the person who wants a Ducati Monster motorbike, soups it up, goes mad with it, instead of just buying an off-the-shelf Fireblade sort of thing with it all done for you, even though you can get probably more performance out of the raw one. It's more tricky, you've got it in the garage, that kind of thing. So coming from a neutral perspective, if you're a bit of a geek, a bit of a tech nerd, go Android. If you're brand new and you've not really used a smartphone before, go for the iPhone. Generally, I mean obviously it's up to you. If you've already got an iPhone and you try and switch to Android, in my experience, I know a few people that are tempted out of it, but again, we're creatures of habit. We kind of like watching videos now. This is probably a habit, something you do all the time. Going to work is a habit, eating your dinner is a habit. And we get used to what we've got. Now, when I initially switched from Apple to Android, I didn't look at the new things that it was offering me. I was looking, the first thing I sort of noticed is what I couldn't get anymore. Like, I didn't sort of go, look at all this amazing, awesome new stuff I've got. I was focusing on like, well, I haven't got this anymore. I can't do that anymore. Instagram isn't out for it, or it wasn't then. You know, things like that. I kind of focused on the bad. But I kind of gave it long enough, and it's kind of like, I suppose, giving up smoking. You sort of focused on the negative, first of all. You look at what you've not got, or what you're losing out on, rather than what you're gaining. So everyone I know that's been brought up either Android or iPhone, when they try and switch, it's quite difficult. So initially, to begin with, going in it, the way it tends to work, not always, because I'm another exception to the rule, PC users who like to mod, get better graphics cards, delve, mess around, you know, build their own monster PCs, tend to be Android type people. Whereas Mac users who just like to spend a lot of money, get a nice clean package with it all done for them, open it up, it's on, it's in. They're the iPhone people, and again, they're the iPhone people because it links, it's Apple, it's, you know, they tend to say, oh, but I've got an iMac, I want an iPhone. Not always, again, because myself, I use Macs. Mike Dent, he's a Mac user, but he swears by Android phones. So it's not always the case, but I think if you are going to switch, you've got to give it time. If you want to sort of make the leap from one operating system to the other, you've got to give it time. And there's pros and cons to either or, like I said in the last 2 videos. There's no right or wrong answer. If you fancy it, and you're watching this video, you're obviously toying with the idea. The main reason I jumped across from Apple was for a change. I was a bit fed up, got used to it. The new releases weren't really offering me anything. I saw more advantages of being able to tinker and play and have a bigger screen and all that kind of stuff. So the real answer is it's up to you, but I think you'll find when you do switch initially, you'll get frustrated. You'll miss things, whether you're coming from Android or whether you're coming from Apple, you'll miss things initially. And in order for you to like the other stuff more, you have to stick with it. It's like when you give up taking sugar in coffee. First of all, you're like, oh, but I miss the sugar. And then you get to that point where it tastes bad with sugar and bad without. All these analogies I'm using probably don't make a great little sense to anybody else, but they do to me, with my newly shaved head. So all I'm saying is if you do switch, give it at least 2 months. If you don't like it, go back. But that's it. That's all I've got to say without repeating myself for the 3rd, 4th, 5th time. That's what I think anyway. There's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. There's no phone that's better than the other phone. There's no operating system that's better than the other one. Make up your own mind. Give it a try. And the very fact that you're looking for videos that say, should I switch, means you're toying with the idea. So why not? Just do it. Give it a go. And if you don't like it, you can always go back to what you're used to. Take care now. Bye bye then.